What's up everyone? The other day I decided to mess around in creative and started recreating a few mechanics from the iconic Call of Duty Zombies series. In this video I'll be going over how I set up my mystery box and my in-game point/currency system. Do keep in mind though that none of these things are perfect and may receive further changes later down the line, and I may do a tutorial on these as I update them later on. So let's start off with the currency system. So right off the bat we will not be using the creature spawner for this, since there are no channels that will send a signal upon eliminating the zombie. Instead we'll be using two items, the creature placer and the item granter. We're using the creature placer to spawn our zombies and the item granter to give us the points for killing them. To start this off, go into the creature placer menu and change the following settings. Change spawn when receiving from channel 1 and when eliminated transmit on channel 1. This allows the zombies to continue to respawn as they die, and signal signal to our item granter to let it know that the zombie had died. Next, go into your creative inventory and use whatever you're going to use as your currency or points. I, in this case, use gold. Drop the amount that you want players to gain when killing a zombie. I dropped 10 in this case. Now we're going to go into the item granter menu. We're going to change on grant action to keep all, equip item on grant to yes, cycle behavior to wrap, grant item when receiving from channel 1, restock items when receiving from channel 1, and that's our currency system ready to go. You can copy the zombies placer and paste it wherever you want the zombies to spawn, as the settings will be copied and that will save you a ton of time. If there's any modifications you may want to make to these settings, you're going to want to make sure you've already placed it and change it from there. Next up, I'll be showing how to make the mystery box. For this, you're going to need 3 random number generators, 3 item spawners, 3 triggers, and 1 conditional button. Starting with the conditional button, we'll be changing these settings. Can be used by to all, key items required to how many points you want the box to cost. In my case, I set it at 300. And when activate, transmit on channel 8. When it comes to the color, interaction text, display icon, things like that, that's completely subjective and to whatever you would like that to be. Now for the random number generators. In this case, each of them rolls for weapons of certain effectiveness. The first one will be for the strongest weapons, the second one for the mid-tier weapons that are decent but not too great, and then we've got the low-tier weapons. So my settings for the first generator: value limit 1 is set to 1, value limit 2 is set to 25, the winning value is set to 20. This means if it rolls a value less than 20, it loses. I changed my roll time to 1 second. Zone is set to left and normal length. I have my play audio as to off. Now, zone, length, and play audio, those are completely subjective as well as roll time, so no need to copy that if you don't want to. Activate when receiving from channel 8, and on lose, transmit to channel 9. This way, if this does not hit 20 or above, it immediately starts a roll on the next random number generator. So for the second number generator, I left my value limits the same, but I changed my winning value to 12. For the most part, the other settings are the same. I have activate when receiving from set to channel 9, and on lose, transmit to channel 10. This means, again, if this were to lose its roll, it would start rolling in a third. And for the last random number generator, I once again left my value limits the same, but I set my winning value to 1, so that in this case, no matter what it rolls, you will be guaranteed to get something of low tier. Like last time, most settings are left alone. At this time, I have activate when receiving from set to channel 10, and there's nothing else changed when it comes to the channels. So that's going to be it for the random number generators. Now for these, we're going to set them to channels 11 for the highest tier, 12 for the mid tier, and 13 for the lowest. You're going to want to stretch them similar to how I have them if you're copying my settings directly. If they aren't stretched like this, even if it rolls one of the winning values, nothing will be activated, nothing will happen. So with each of these triggers, you're going to want to set them when triggered, transmit on the very same channel that you set them to. For this trigger, it's set to 11, the next one is set to 12, and the last one is also set to 13. And now we're going to move on to the item spawners. So for the high tier weapon spawner, these are the settings I have here. Random spawn set to random, visible during game set to off, time for first spawn instant, time between spawns set to never, enable at game start no, enable when receiving from channel 11, disable when receiving from channel 14, spawn item when receiving from channel 11, and when item picked up, transmit on channel 14. This way, whenever the item gets rolled by the random number generator, it will spawn, and once the item is picked up, it will despawn and the weapons will not pop back up over and over again until it's rolled again. You want to do the same for the rest of the spawners by setting enable from receiving from and spawn item when receiving from to their corresponding random number generator triggers, and move disable when receiving from and when item picked up transmit on settings up a channel from the previous spawner. If you've done all that correctly, you'll have yourself a working mystery box. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out how to get them moving just yet. Hopefully I'll figure that out at some point. If you guys enjoyed and learned anything from this tutorial, please leave a like and comment what you'd like to see me try making next. Working with triggers in this game has been really fun, and I'm definitely going to continue experimenting with them later on in the future. I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.